up guys, it's Z, and today's video we're going to talk all about farms. So the very first tip that I have for you when you make a farm is try to aim for these ones, which is the T6 rams. Sorry about the notifications, again I completely forgot to turn it off. I don't know why I keep forgetting, but these T6 rams, they hold a lot more than the catapults do, and I think the first rams you'll get are the T4s. So when you're first starting up a farm, just mass produce a lot of rams. You don't have to even make any infantry, cavalry, or anything else for your other castle. I mean your farm castles. You just need rams. So obviously I've been playing this game for over like 2.5 years, so that's why you see this farm is a little bit more built up. But when you're first starting off, just focus on getting a few war tents so that you can start mass producing all those rams. And you really want to decide what your farm is going to be farming, because each and every one of my farms farms something specifically different. This one specifically farms lumber, iron, and silver. So that's why in the inside I have a lot more of the grain farm tiles inside, because I'm not farming grain at all outside, and I kind of needed resources in regards to grain because I needed to upgrade things in the beginning a lot faster. So that's why you see all right here, this farm specifically farms lumber, iron, and silver. The main priority is lumber, but obviously if there's not enough super tiles for lumber, it can go to iron, it can go to silver right away. And you do want to make sure you have hospitals too, because let's say that your kingdom randomly has a war and they kill off all your farms. It is honestly a pain to not have hospitals and then have to make all your rams over, because it takes time and it takes resources. So just make sure you add some hospitals. You don't have to put the maximum 8 like your main castle, but yeah. So I completely stopped taking care of all my farms now. I kind of just log in and send them out because I've been playing for way too long. So I don't do any donations anymore. I don't really do events. I don't even click the dragon challenge. I don't do any of that, just to save myself some time now. But because my farms are so built up now, I can send them out and I'll still get resources. The reason why I don't really prioritize in farm yields for farms is because I don't really have the time anymore to just kind of log in multiple times a day. I log in like once a day to send them out. And if I did have a lot more time, I would definitely focus on the yield because it would help a lot. Just for me though, I don't focus on the yield at all because I don't have the time for it to like log in every hour and collect it, because it's not the farm tiles inside, it only stays there until you collect it each hour. That's why. Now here's a clip showing you guys how fast I go through all my farms, logging in, sending them out, and then logging out right away. The reason why in the beginning, I actually did not like having all these red notification signs. So I'll like click all of them, I'll claim everything. But nowadays, I just don't even bother anymore just because I don't have the time for it anymore. And if I did have the time, I want to focus more on my main castle than just my farms. But if you do have the time, definitely work on your farms because it will pay off in the long run. So all my farms, they farm something specifically. And I have about 3 different alliances that my farms are in. So these ones that I'm showing you right now, they're actually farming super tiles. But I do have a set amount of farms that farm only the small tiles, which you'll see in this clip very soon. And the ones that are farming the small tiles, those are the ones I can actually log back in during the day. Like let's say I do have time and I want to log 2 or 3 times during the day. I wouldn't log through all my farms anymore. I would just log through the small farms, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just showing you like this one right here. It's going to start farming the small tiles. I'm just going to see if there's any level 7 tiles around, but honestly, I take one glance, and if there isn't any, then I'll just go to the ones very close to me. All the farms I'm showing you right now are farming grain, basically. I try not to put too many farms to farm iron or farm silver, because to all my experienced players out there who's farmed silver or iron from a castle, it takes forever. It definitely takes forever, especially if you don't have a big troop load. It takes forever. So I try to do the majority of my farms to farm lumber or farm grain, because it's a lot easier to collect it from your farm than it is for iron and silver. In the beginning, when I really desperately needed iron and silver, my main castle would only farm iron and silver, just so that my farms don't have to farm the iron and silver. I just prioritized my main castle to farm iron and silver. So the next big tip that I really have for you when you're doing your farms is to make all of your farms C20. That is castle level 20. The reason why is because when you get to C20, you can actually research, I believe it's called Legion, and you will get 4 dispatches total so that you can farm with 4 dispatches. Of course, if you play even longer and you get your VIP level up, you can reach VIP level 8 and you'll be able to send that 5th dispatch. But the thing with VIP level 8, which we will talk in another episode about the VIP points, but the thing about VIP level 8 is that you have to get the VIP activation, which sometimes obviously your farms don't have all the time. So that's why I suggest you to at least have it at C20 to get that 4 dispatches you can always send out. So a lot of my farms, you see that they don't have all just rams, because a lot of these farms that I received are from players who left the kingdom and kind of just gave me their castle. So now I just have all the farms. And the beauty of having so many farms, it just fits my lifestyle a lot more, because I work so many hours during the day that I can only send it out once. And I'm not recommending you to do the same, but if you wanted to do the same, that'd be okay too. It just really depends on how your lifestyle is. The perfect number of farms when I first began, and I kept sending out like maybe 3 times a day, I would say the perfect number is however many fits around your castle. I believe it's like 5 or 6 that will fit around your castle. I will input a picture of one of my friends' farm who is next to me, and I used to have the same exact setup he did. So I'll show you after this clip. But as you notice, I try to have all my troops be able to finish a certain amount of super tile. So I try to have it at least finish the 1.780 super mill right here, so that I don't have to keep like going back and forth to like finishing it, because that's why it's so important for you to have your own farm alliance with your own tiles, because when you're sharing with your entire alliance, you're not going to get that much resources for super tiles. And honestly, super tiles, they farm very slow. That's why you see that I have 2 personal farm alliances, and then I have 1 farm in one of my friends' farm alliances, just to spread it out, because I have a few that farm super tile only, and I have a few farms that farm small tiles only. Okay, so now the biggest star moment for beginners. For a beginner, you're not going to want to make 5 or 6 farms. The reason why is because you're just starting out the game. You don't want to burn yourself out yet, because you haven't learned everything about the game yet. So for a new castle, I would recommend to at least have 2 farms to start, because later on you are going to have to upgrade your castle from like C29 to C30, and it's going to take like 230 million lumber, 230 million green, X amount of iron and silver. It's just insane to try to do that with your main castle. But yeah, just start off the game, see if you're into it first, and then if you're into it, make 2 farms right away, because you want to get going with grabbing those resources. Everyone does their farms differently, and I'm just showing you how I do mine. So let's talk about when you actually attack your farm. When you're attacking your farm, make sure that you're sending your troops outside of your castle, because when I first began a new kingdom, the first time, scratch that. Let me start over. When I first began playing this game, when someone told me to make a farm, I thought, yeah, make a farm castle, and then once you hit it, but my troops died. Obviously, don't keep your troops inside. And for your storehouse, I hope you guys know which one that is, but for your storehouse, do not upgrade it in your farm, because the more you upgrade your storehouse, the more that it won't allow you to take out resources. You don't want to use the trade council sending resource aid to your main castle, because it actually taxes each time you send it, so you don't get actually the full amount. for beginners who are watching this, in your resources bag or just your bag in general, there are two different types of resources. You get the unprotected one and you have the protected ones. The protected ones, even if you open that out, another castle, enemy castle, or even your own castle, you can't access it because they're protected resources. The ones that are inside your bag that says unprotected or basically doesn't say anything, then those are the ones you can actually open up in your bag and you can take those with your main castle. So as you see, like, it already takes up a lot of time of mine going through all these farms, and I haven't even completed all my farms sending them out yet. So imagine if I was sticking around and clicking like all these notifications trying to finish it. I would have absolutely no time at all in life. But the reason why I have so many farms is because I send it out once a day, and since I have so many, obviously I have a lot of resources and I can continue playing each and every event that I can because I am invested in this game. I really do like this game. So it really depends on how much you play, and yeah, just build however much farms. When you feel like you're ready to build more, you can start building more by like twos, you know? Yeah, so in simple terms, when you're making a farm, make sure you're making specific ones for each. So let's say you're making a farm to farm lumber only, right? Then inside your castle, you want to put the maximum amount of grain, like 8 tiles of grain, so that you're getting enough grain so that you can start upgrading things inside the building. And then if you're making a grain farm that farms grain outside, you want to put all like 8, 7, whatever amount, the maximum lumber tiles inside, so that you can get both kinds of resources so that you can build up your farm castle to be great. And then as far as like researching goes, just make sure you're researching what you're farming outside. Unless you have the time to obviously work on your farm and you want it to be able to farm all 4 types, that's okay too. Like, it's really up to you how you do it. I am just, I like mine specifically farming certain ones, and I like the yield inside to be opposite. Obviously, before, when I first began the kingdom, I focused a lot more on farms, so that's why I was able to go in multiple times a day and collect the yield, the hourly yield. But now I do not have time for that anymore, so I just focus on the speed, and that's basically it, like the speed in collecting. And then you also want to make sure you have one of your farms to be a battle farm. The reason why I say that is because you want a battle farm to either give yourself military points or just anything. Put it inside your main castle. Your main alliance, so that it can reap all those rewards. So right now I think I have like 3 or 4 farms inside the main alliance, because obviously we've been playing for 2.5+ years in K235, and a lot of people are gone. So we have a lot of room. We can all add farms inside. Plus it's good for Grim Raiders event too, which I'll speak in another video about that. Okay, so this clip now is my main castle. So what I want to show you in my main castle is how I set it up. I have those 4 empty tiles for these silver mines, so when I do the power boost to get 1,500 gems per day, I'll leave the link in the description below if you want to see that video. But see, honestly, I only turn on the extra, that green glowy thing, the extra yield, just for you guys, so it looks pretty and stuff like that. But I do not really upgrade any of my farm tiles inside with metals, because I save the metals for to try to get to L5. I don't really waste it on resources because I have so many farms. And these are all my researches. Obviously, I have played for so long that I was able to complete all of these, but I would not be able to complete it as fast if I didn't have any of my farms. So now I'll show you my Arcana Tower, what I actually invested in with the farms. I think in the beginning, when I first opened up to, the Arcane Tower, I did invest a little bit into the farm things, like these, the decrease in research and stuff, and the legendary harvest for the yield production. But little did I know, it's actually very hard to get arcane stones to level up these things. So I focused on the military now. See, I put all my arcane stones in the military because I have farms and I don't really need my main castle to, be that great in a farm, like a farmer's castle. So I just save all my arcane stones, save all my metals for the military stuff, and to upgrade my main castle instead. And for my main castle, I try to focus on more of like farming lumber, iron, or silver over grain because I have so much army inside my main castle that the troops, they just consume all the grain, each hour. So here's my skill points, how I set it up. I put the 11 points first in the battle, because I want to urgent recall it just in case anything happens or if I need all my troops back. And then as far as my skill points in development goes, I go down the lumber and the iron like I told you already. I don't have enough to finish the green part in the middle, so I let that be. And then I just go all the way down so I can reach all the way to the last one. And as you can see, I focused more on the silver iron collection. I don't do anything in the yield on the left side because I really can't go on like every hour to collect the hourly yields. So I just let that be. I just try to focus on collecting, and then I just reach the bottom. But that is my skill points. The next important thing for your main castle, or even for your farms, is to build up Lenny, which is the faster collection one. He's this one right here. He collects faster when you're collecting resources outside, and I just think it's really important, to get your collecting speed up to speed, whether it's your main castle or your farm castle. You definitely want to get it with your farm castle, of course. And Braith also collects very fast. Here are some just farm heroes. You don't really have to look at my skill books for it. I would suggest for your main castle not even to worry about skill books for them, because you want to save all your gems for like the military stuff. Obviously, I have like several that I invested in during the beginning of the kingdom, but I definitely should have saved my gems and actually invested in the military stuff. So that's why you see there's skill books on many of them, and I have like multiple ones that have silver, multiple ones that have lumber, because each and every time you send out your heroes, it takes a different pair of heroes. So that's why I kind of spread that out. Okay, so now let me show you how much green my troops actually consume per hour, and you can check by clicking the flag over there. So my troops consume 4,232,375 grain per hour, which is insane. That's why you want to make sure, like for your main castle, you don't really have to farm any grain. You can just farm grain with your farm castles, because your farm castles don't have, or they shouldn't have, that much army inside to consume every hour. So yeah, that is the grain consumption, where you can find it in that flag. Alrighty, well, I hope these tips helped you to make a farm and what to actually look for when you're starting your farm up. Thank you so much for watching. As always, at the end right here, I will show you all the things like my usernames to all the social media, all the social medias and stuff like that, because I know a lot of people have been asking me. And yeah, I just want to put that out there. So if you want to reach me, just reach me in any way. I use Line a lot more than I use Discord. So yeah, and I just made an Instagram recently for the whole gaming thing. I'll probably start posting stuff there, and I'll post like giveaway stuff there later on in the near future. I haven't really worked on that yet, but I will very soon. Just follow me in all these accounts and talk to me if you have time. Sorry, I could redo this voiceover, but I'm kind of lazy, so bear with me that I'm making mistakes. All right, see you later, guys.